Again, we're looking at half guard today. Okay, so in the foundations curriculum, run through everything. So the last couple of weeks we looked at escaping mounts and the back, and then we also looked at escaping side control. So now we're looking at the half guard. So what's the value of the half guard? Now we're on our back, we're underneath, but we can get our legs around our partner. Okay, we get our legs around one of our partner's legs. So how do we get to the half guard? Anybody got any idea how you might end up in half guard? Someone's taking you down. Perfect. So a takedown. So you guys just demonstrate that, please. So we know Gordon can't do takedowns, but Robbie can. So if Robbie does a takedown, falls to the ground, and he ends up getting stuck, and Gordon grabs one of his legs. So he's in a half guard. Perfect. Excellent. That's one way how you can get there. Back up. What's another way you can get there? It's actually stay in that position just for now. We know Gordon can't do takedowns, but we'll hope that he can maybe do a reversal. So if he reverses the position from here, good, ends up on top. Where is he? He's in half guard as well. So come back out this way, guys. Yeah, so you can get taken down, end up in half guard. You can be in the half guard underneath or on top and get reversed and end up in the half guard underneath. How else might you get there? What's that? You can pass the half guard, exactly. So again, he can get here, someone passes your guard, and they end up in your half guard. Excellent. So now he's in half guard on the bottom. So that's three. So you can get taken down, you can reverse, you can pass. What's the last way you can get there?
Getting out from now.
Escaping a pin. Perfect. Very good. So again, so Gordon's underneath, Robbie's on top in the mount, or in the side control, doesn't matter. Yeah, and he goes from here, moves out, good, and he comes and grabs a leg. Excellent. That's great. So there's four ways that you can get to the half guard. There's only four ways. You can get taken down or take someone down to get there. You can pass their guard to get there. You can escape a position, escape a pin to get there, or you can reverse the position from underneath to on top to get there. Okay, that's cool. So we're going to half guard bottom. So once we get there, how do we keep the half guard? So I'm saying this, I'm asking this because we're going through, again, I've got the stuff up on the back wall there. I've been talking about this with a few of the guys, rethinking the way we look at things and thinking about things in terms of obtaining, retaining, finessing, and progressing. So what does that mean? You have to obtain a position, you have to get the position. Once you get it, you have to retain the position, which means you have to keep it long enough to be able to use it. There's no point getting a position and 1/10 of a second later, the person then goes and changes position and now the moment's gone. Once you're there, you have to be able to finesse the position, which means you have to play the position and make it work. And the last thing, if it doesn't work, you need to be able to progress to where you want to go. Okay, you have to get to the next position, you have to move on. So if you get a position, keep a position, play the position, or move to the next position. Okay? And if we can do that and start to break down jiu-jitsu in that way, you can start to think of it slightly differently, and it can actually, it's quite useful. Okay, so we often talk about retaining guard retention. Okay, so we retain the guard, but that's only one thing. That's like talking about making sure no one passes our open guard pretty much. Okay, but we have to retain every position. If I want to be able to play the closed guard or the half guard or the mount or the side control, like I said, if I can't stay there for long enough to be able to make it work, what's the point in even getting there? Okay, so you have to be able to retain the position. So what do you have to do to be able to retain the half guard underneath? Anyone got any ideas? What makes a half guard a half guard? What do you have to keep to make sure you've still got it? Yep, that's good. So again, he jumps in. So the number one thing, got to keep his thigh trapped between your thighs. Okay, so one thigh trapped between both thighs. That is the thing that makes a half guard. Okay, if you don't have that, you don't have a half guard. What else do you need to do? If I'm retaining the half guard, what am I stopping them from doing? What are the objectives of the guy on top when they're in the half guard? To pass, to get to a better position, yeah, and what else? Yeah.
Pin the upper body down.
Yeah, what else? Yeah, what are the big goals? What are the two main things I would be trying to do if I'm on top in the half guard? You got one of them. One of them is to pass and submit. Exactly. Exactly. So the guy on top, he can either pass or he can submit you. Okay, so he can attack a choke, he can attack upper body submission and arm lock, Americana, Kimura, whatever. He can spin around and attack the lower body if he wants to attack the legs. So if you're going to retain the position, you have to stop him from passing. So stop him from freeing his thigh between your thighs. You also have to stop him from being able to control your upper body and try and submit. Okay, does that make sense? So the main four things we think about in terms of retaining the position are, one, I've got to keep his legs stuck between my legs. If he doesn't, he's just going to pull his legs straight out here. And now you've lost the position. We're not playing half guard anymore. The other key point though is being able to control the movement or maintain the movement of your bottom knee. Okay, your bottom knee, your bottom thigh basically. So if Gordon manages to put his hook in and flatten out your thigh, if he flattens his thigh in the ground now so Robbie can't move his hips, now it's going to be very, very difficult for him to be able to retain the position and not get past. Okay, so you have to, one, catch that thigh between your thighs, but two, keep your hip mobile. Okay, as soon as I can't move my hip around, I'm basically going to get past. Okay, so they're your two main priorities when you're thinking about the lower body. What about the upper body? You said it before, Joel. What are you going to try and do? Try to avoid? You said it before. What's the guy underneath want to make sure it doesn't happen?
He doesn't want to get stuck pinned.
Yeah, exactly. He doesn't want to get his shoulders pinned to the ground. Okay, so again, if his shoulders are pinned to the ground, now again, it's going to make that idea of freeing your leg a lot easier. It's going to make it much more difficult for him to be able to do any attacks, and it's going to make it easier for Gordon to be able to progress to attack the upper body if he wants to as well. So he wants to make sure he doesn't get his both shoulders trapped on the ground, and he maintains mobility of his head. Okay, and again, we talk about that. We like to talk about that in terms of, we'll talk about in a sec, getting 2 of 3 or 2 on 1. Okay, so both guys with their upper bodies, you've got 2 arms and 1 head. So whoever controls 2 of 3 or 2 on 1 is in control. So what does that mean? It means if Gordon on top controls Robbie's arm and head, he's going to be able to pin him down and control him. If Robbie's underneath, he gets like a shoulder crunch. He gets a good strong shoulder crunch. Okay, he's actually got control, even if you bring this over the other side. So he's got 2 on 1 here now. Okay, so he's got both of his arms around Gordon's shoulder here now, and he's got him pinned. Robbie here can now start to attack here, but he can also move his head anywhere he wants. Okay, so he's got freedom of movement here now. Okay, so whoever controls the upper body gets 2 or 3 or 2 on 1. If you can do that from the top and pin their shoulders, you're going to win. If the guy underneath can stop that from happening, so keep his shoulder nice and mobile, keep his head mobile, and actually get the control of the upper body, the other guy, they're going to win. Okay, so that's the key point in terms of retaining. Lower body, I need to keep the thigh cord between my thighs and keep my hip mobile. A good way to think about that is if I can move my bottom knee, I know my hip can move. Okay, if he pins my knee or gets it stuck up towards the ceiling that I can't move, that's bad. Okay, and with the upper body, I want to be able to make sure I don't get both my shoulders put on the mat, and ideally I want to be able to move my hip around. And if I can't do that, I'm not going to be able to retain the position. Does that make sense? Yep. Good. So we've got the position, we've retained the position. Now we need to finesse the position. So again, I use that just because it rhymes, but finesse means to subtly do something. Okay, and that's what jiu-jitsu should be. It should be subtle. It shouldn't be a big, gross, massive movement. You want to outsmart your opponent. Okay, and if I'm doing things subtly and I'm doing it technically and correctly, it should be effective. So that's what we try and do. So in terms of finessing or playing the half guard, what are our options from there? What can we do? I can off balance the guy, yeah, very good. So what can I do when I off balance? What would be the ultimate off balance? Sweep, reverse the position. Very good. So again, he gets on top. So if Gordon gets on top and Robbie's underneath here and he's locked him in so hard that he can't do all the other things we're going to talk about, but he manages to get here and he just off balance him and turns him over. Excellent. That's a win for the guy on bottom. He's now reversed. In a competition, you got 2 points. In a real fight now, you're on top in the half guard where you can throw ground and pound, you can do all sorts of stuff. That's a great thing to do. Okay, that's good. That's one. What are our options? We said before in terms of what the guy on top wants when he wants to pass, we want to stop. But if Gordon can now get control of Robbie's upper body, he can actually submit him. Okay, so if he goes from here and he gets 2 or 3 or 2 on 1, a classic one is a Kimura. So he breaks the grip open, brings his arm through, goes and gets Kimura. That's a 2 on 1. Actually spin around the other way. That's good. So he's got a 2 on 1 here now. This is great. He's still in the half guard because he's still got that thigh cord between the thighs, but he's basically attacking him in a way that he can finish the fight. Or he can, if he gets the Kimura out, he's going to be able to actually finish the submission. If he does it properly, he can build into like a Choi bar. He can still reverse the position, end up getting on top again. So it's all good stuff in here. But what's he done? He's attacked basically above his armpits. Okay, this is what I want everybody to think about. We're going to break the body up into segments. Okay, when we're thinking about this, we can do this with every position. Okay, so we basically think above the armpits is the head and arm, like we just said. When we're above the armpits, I want to get 2 or 3 or 2 on 1. They're going to have the space between the armpits and the hips. What do we normally call this space? Torso. Yep. So your torso, you can control above the armpits, you can control the torso between the hips and the pits, and you can control the lower body below his hips. Okay? And then we also have the front of the body and the back of the body. So there's 4 ways we're going to break the body up. Above the armpits, pits to hips, below the hips, and then front and back. Okay, and that's basically every single position one. You sort of think of it the way I've written up on the board over there. You can really start to delve into how you can attack different parts of the body. The other way to think of it is head, arms, legs, torso. They're pretty simple as well. That's good. So, first thing he can do, he can reverse. Second thing he can do, he can attack the upper body. So again, if he gets a Kimura, good, fantastic. He can get buggy chokes, he can get triangles, exactly, you get all different sorts of things. So all that's legitimate if you manage to finish somebody with that. Okay, that's good. What's the third thing you can do? I just said it before. We just said the upper body. What was the next thing we talked? What next segment we talked about? The torso. Yeah, we'll get to the legs in a sec. The torso. So how does he get to the torso? What's he got to do? No. You've got to get under the armpits. Very good. Exactly. So he's got to get both his shoulders under the armpits. So if he does that and he gets here, he's in a position where he's got the torso. What can he do from here? He can join his hands. He's got double unders. He can move through to take the back. He can reverse. He can stand up. He can do all the other good stuff he's going to do. But it's getting under the armpits that makes that work. Go again. If he just gets his elbow, come back. If he just gets his elbow under the armpit and Robbie sits back here, can you do anything with that? No. So again, this is an underhook. Oh wow, he's got an underhook. Means nothing until he gets his shoulder under the armpit. If he gets one shoulder under the armpit, the other one basically goes with it. Now he's on his side. But that's the key thing that we're looking to get. If he does the same thing on the other side, here he goes underneath. Exactly. Same thing. As soon as he gets to this position, he's in a winning position where he can do a whole host of things as well. Okay, but the key thing is he's gone under the armpit. So you can see Robbie's upper body is basically this side of Gordon's body. Does that make sense? So it's sort of broken him up into a segment, and now you're controlling his torso. So once he gets to here, he can play and do a whole bunch of stuff. The last thing we can do, so what have we done? What was the first one we did? What was it before that? We swept, we reversed. Again, we're going to reverse when we can't do any of these other ones because they're holding us so tight. We'll talk about that to finish off. The last thing we can do here is going to be we can attack his legs. So I've got Gordon's got 2 thighs around Robbie's thigh here. But if he goes now and he gets both his hands around Robbie's thigh, okay, now he can attack that as well. So he can bring that knee up onto his chest. He can start to move and stretch him out. He can go into a whole bunch of things as well. So he's going to attack below his upper body. So do that again. So what does he need to do? He needs to actually there. If he just stays here and just wraps Robbie's leg there, but nothing doesn't bring it onto his chest, can you do anything there, Gordon? No, not if he defends. What does he need to do? He needs to bring his knee up so he can get his shoulder behind Robbie's hips. So you go again. Once he gets that shoulder behind his leg, now he's going to be able to make it work. Okay? So again, that idea of breaking the body up. We've got a front and a back. We've got above the armpits to hips, below the armpits. Okay, so our goals in terms of finessing and playing the half guard is to, just do that one more time, guys. First and foremost, if he's here, Gordon wants to not let Robbie get him in a strong position with his upper body. So the first thing he's going to try and do is he's going to see if he can get good upper body positioning and try and get your hands inside and see if you can get a 2-on-1. See if you can get a Kimura. Yeah, whatever. Yep, good. He gets a Kimura. Great. That's excellent. If he's got this, he's winning. Even though the guy's on top of him, Gordon's winning. That's one way you can win. 2 or 3 or 2-on-1, control above the armpits. The second way you can win is get under the armpits. He gets under the armpits. Good. Okay, he's got an underhook. He can go this side or the other side. Once he does that, he's controlling the torso. He's going to win. What's the third way he's going to win?
Leg.
Control the leg. Again, he's already got one leg. He gets both legs. And he gets that leg up where he can get his shoulder behind. And now again, he's behind and he's in a position where he can build into sweep and attack the lower body. And the last way, which was the first way we looked at, is when Robbie locks in and gets such good upper body control that Gordon can't get his hands in to do any of those things. He can't attack the upper body. He can't get his hands under the armpits to go and attack the torso. He can't get his hands down to attack Robbie's leg, get his shoulder behind the leg. So when he's here and he's so locked in, what Robbie does is by holding on so tight, he actually brings his base in really close, which makes him vulnerable to being swept. Okay, so now Gordon can take him one way or the other. Good, and knock him over. Okay, so there are 4 ways we can play. Does that make sense? Yeah? So again, every single technique, every single the million things you've seen on the internet or whatever, whether it's from the no-gi or the gi, every single one of those will come from one of those 4 things. Okay, so if you can master getting into each of those, understanding that and getting to each of those positions, you're going to be able to do any technique that you want. Okay? Does that make sense to you guys? Any questions at all about that? No. So the last piece of that is progression. Okay, so if we're here, Robbie goes back again. So once we're here, actually spin around the other way if you can, please, guys. So once we're here, whatever he's got his thigh trap between the thighs there, he's in a half guard. Okay, as soon as that's not the case, I don't think it's a half guard anymore. Okay, so one of the ways that if Gordon can't make any of those 4 things work, he can't reverse, he can't attack above the armpits, he can't attack the torso, he can't attack below the hips, can't do any of that, his next option is to progress position. So the first one we're going to look at is to progress to a knee shield. Okay, so if he's here and he's so tight and locked in, he's going to move his hip out and then try and get his shin in front. Excellent, at the top here now. Good. Once he does that, he can push and he can take his head away. So spin around the other way if you can, please. Just to show him getting an in here, spin all around. So again, he's there. Robbie's in tight. Again, he's got his thigh caught between Gordon's thighs, but Gordon can't make this work, so he's going to go and move his hip out, get the shin in front and stop there. So once he gets here, Robbie can hold on as hard as he likes here. Once Gordon gets his shin in front of his hip bone, he can drive in with that, use his back to extend, and now he's going to break it away and get freedom with his head. Okay? So here again, he can play a whole bunch of games, he can move out, he can move into any position he wants. That's the first way we're going to progress. What's the second way you reckon we can progress? Yep, let's go back again. So same thing, he might try and get that left shin in front, but he can't. So as he's doing that, he can't do it. He's going to bring his right shin in front. Okay, and from here, he can have a butterfly guard, he can have a full guard. That's good to spin around the other way, mate. Just to show him the other side. So again, he's here, he moves his hip out, puts that other shin in front. Good, excellent. And from there again, you can just even keep the shin there and just have it like a butterfly. Okay, as soon as he's got that, now, again, Robbie tries to drive into him, he can easily push him away with his shin, move his head away, his head's free, now he can go on the attack again. That's good. What's another way?
Lockdown with the leg.
What's that?
The leg lockdown.
The lockdown's just a half guard. Because again, you've still got the thigh between the thighs. So that's just one way you can play half guard. We didn't talk about that, but yeah, lockdown's just, that's all it is. That's fine. Anything else?
Stand up.
How are you going to stand up? That's good. Come and show me how you're going to stand up. Seriously. Like, yeah. You're going to look like an idiot at the end of it, but it's going to be a useful tool. Okay, good. So Robbie's on top. Good. He's got your pin. Go. Stand up.
No.
That's all right. Keep going, keep going, keep going. The point is, what do you have to do to be able to stand up? Go. Keep going.
Bring your legs.
Do it again. Now, good. Excellent. What have you got? There you go. Knee shield. Now, move your head away and stand up. Good. Excellent. So you can stand up. Excellent. But what do you have to do? You have to progress to that position before you stand up. You can't stand up from half guard. It's impossible. Okay, until you get your shin in front, free your head, make the space, get a post, you can't stand up. Okay, so that's great. What else could you do? Come on, Gordon. Come on, Gordon, I'm relying on you here. You're the only one that's got like university level education. Never rely on. That's good. No, you can get like a butterfly hooking on the other side. So get a butterfly half guard. Okay, so get your shin in another one. So again, you get on top. So again, if you can't get his knee inside on that far side, because yeah, he's giving pressure, whatever, go back. Robbie might be giving a certain pressure, he can't do it. So instead, he's going to try and put his foot inside. That's it. So now you've got that foot inside there. You've still got your shin in front. You can use it to lift and move around. Now he's got a whole other game he can play. The key point with this is that these are completely new positions where you can start to play that that same game again. Okay, once you obtain the position, you've then got to retain it, finesse it, and progress to the next position. Okay, you're no longer playing half guard, even though people call it a butterfly half or call it a deep half, which is the last one we look at or whatever. It's not really a half guard. You don't have their thigh stuck between your thighs. We've moved on to new territory. Yeah, that's good. So the last one is a deep half guard. Yeah, so again, just pop over here. So if he's here and he gets this, I can get here and I can do this and cover this position. Okay? So do I have his thigh between my thighs now? No. So this, they call this deep half guard. This isn't a half guard, okay? Because I don't have his thigh between my thighs. Okay, my shoulder's behind him, but this is again a completely different position we can play. Okay? So there are your 4 ways you can progress. We can progress from the half guard to a knee shield. We can progress to a butterfly half guard. We can progress to get our leg in front and play a classic butterfly or closed guard, or we can go to a deep half guard. Okay? Cool. Any questions about that, guys? No? All right, let's get to work then. Sorry, I just wanted to punch all that out, like I said, for Dan's benefit. But yeah, so now what we're going to look at, we've done this before, we've played that retention game, we've played that finesse game, where we've just basically got guys working to get to those positions. Today we're going to look at the progression. Okay, so first and foremost with our partner, you come over here. So Gordon is going to be on top, we're going to play this game. Robbie's going to be on top. Robbie's going to start with a cross-face and underhook, nice strong upper body control. Gordon's going to be here, he's only going to have 2 objectives. Okay, all he can do is he can reverse. So you can finesse and turn him over. If you can turn him over one way, good, come back. Or turn him over the other way, good. Yeah, very good, come back. So those cylinder rolls. The only other thing he can do now is he can try and get his left shin, in front of Robbie's hip. So he can either move out, get a knee shield, good, or he can come back and get a butterfly half. Okay, so come out and get the bottom half of his shin in front. Spin around the other way, Gordon, just to show the guys that. So again, he moves out, gets his left shin, knee first in front, good, stretches out, good, come back, or he moves out, gets his foot in front, okay, and comes back. Okay, so all the guy on top, your only goal on top is to not let that happen, so go, okay? So once he's here, Robbie, we want the person on top to lock in nice and tight, get a strong position. All you're stopping them doing is, what was the first thing? Sweeping, don't let them reverse the position. What's the second thing you're trying to stop? Getting a knee shield or a butterfly half. Does that make sense? Guy underneath, you're not doing anything else other than trying to do those couple of things. You're trying to reverse or get that knee shield or butterfly to fit. Make sense? Let's go, get your partner, pitch him up. Anybody knows the difference between the first and the second round? Harder what? Harder to be on top or on the bottom? Yeah, everyone was, first round everyone was just sort of seeing that up, oh yeah, whatever, and everyone was just getting it. So everyone, what did they do? They started to tighten up their top half guard. Everyone started making little adjustments, started locking things in a little tighter, adapting their legs to be in a stronger position, and started stopping people from doing it a lot better. Okay, so again, that's great. So now we do the same thing, but now we add in the other leg. So if I grab you again, please, Gordon. There's Roberto. It's good. So now he's got the option of getting either shin in front. Okay, so again, what can he do? He can reverse him like we did. He can get his knee shield in front, which means he gets his left shin in front of him. Good. He can get his butterfly hook in front, which means he gets his left shin at the bottom in front of him. One thing with that as well, if he just gets his toes sort of in front there, he can't do anything with it. He's got to wait to get his shin bone in front. Once his shin bone gets in front, he'll be able to use that effectively. And the other thing he can do now as well is if Robbie's blocking all that, he can get his right shin in front. If he gets his shin in front on the other side, same thing. He's going to be able to move his body away, free his head, and start to play a different game. Okay, so now, either of those shin bones, either of our legs can get in front of his hips, and we can reverse positions. Everybody cool with that? Yeah, let's go, get a partner. Push you up. Let's do it. You won't be able to pass the half guard or submit from the half guard if you can't retain and maintain it from the top. So you need to stop them from playing it, finessing it, like we talked about. You need to stop them from taking this position and progressing to the next one. Nice control, Zach. That's great.
Using my head to pin you away.
And switch. Full side on top. Straight away.
Yeah, you need it.
I don't know what I'm doing.
Go.
Just try and like keep your legs. So if I like you wrap my legs like this, you can, but if I'm like
Lovely,
knocking
Andrew.
over
Well
like that,
done.
you're gonna struggle. So you have to find a balance.
Time. Well done, guys. Let's go. Grab your next partner. Same again.
And yeah, and the reverse.
I know, it's not bad.
Let's go, guys. 3 objectives. Let's do it. First on top, keep the position. Don't let them get their shins in front of you. Don't let them get their reverse position. How did everybody go with that? Any questions? Any revelations?
When you're posting on the top.
Oh, I love a good revelation. Excellent. Go, yeah.
I guess it's from last week as well, like when the hand goes down, just claim it if you're
Yep.
on the bottom.
Yep. So if you're trying to reverse and their hand goes out, there's an opportunity. Yeah.
Yeah.
So their post becomes your thing to attack.
Yeah.
Is that what you mean?
Well, yeah, but also it then means there's space somewhere.
Oh yeah, true.
Like
Yep.
pop out.
Yep.
Well,
Again, so we understand. We just went through it for half an hour or whatever. Again, like I said, you obtain, retain, finesse, progress. We're not finessing anything here. We're not doing those 4 things that I want to do if I want to play half guard. We're doing one of them, I should say. What's the one we're doing? Reversing position. Exactly, yeah. So if I can't do anything, I reverse position. That's a win. That's good. What are the other 3 things I want to do if I want to finesse the position? Anybody remember? We did it about 15 minutes ago. Under the armpits, control the.
Yeah, of course.
Also, very good. What's one of the other 2 other things we could do?
Yeah, 2 and 1 or 3.
Beautiful. 2 or 3 or 2 on 1. Exactly. What does that allow me to control? Above the armpits, arms and head. Exactly. If I can do that, doesn't matter if I'm underneath. I'm winning. That's going to be the last thing we could do when we're trying to finesse the position.
Shoulder behind the leg.
Get your shoulder behind their leg. So if I've got both of my legs around one of your thighs, then I get control of one of your other thighs with my arms. I've got a 2-on-1 with my legs. I've got a 2-on-1 with my arms. I'm in control as well. And again, like we said, I've got to get my shoulder behind and get your knee up on top of me there for that to be effective. If I just grab your leg and your knee's on the ground, nothing good comes out of that. That's good. So that's finessing. We haven't done that today. That's not what we're doing. We only did the reverse just to make sure we can make that drill work even better. So the last thing we're doing when we're progressing position, we got our shin in front from the top, putting our knee in first. We got our shin in front by putting our foot in first, getting the knee shield or getting the butterfly half. We got our other shin in front on the other side by getting our butterfly or close guard back. Yeah, the last thing we're going to do is go underneath. Okay, so I'll just grab you guys again, please, just to demonstrate this. So this is what's classically called deep half. Okay, so as I said, I don't think it's really a half guard when you think about the way we're describing it here now, because you no longer have your thighs around their thigh. But for the purpose of what we're talking about, that's basically what's going on. So when he goes to get any of those things he just did there before, and again, a lot of guys just started doing this naturally, which is the whole idea of this type of training, is that for him to move his hip away and get his shin in front on either side there, a good thing to do is for you to use your right hand to block the hip. Okay, so if he blocks his hip now, when he strips back, Robbie can't follow, and now he can get one of his shins in front. He puts his foot in, he puts his knee in, he puts the knee across on the other side. Okay, so all of that involves holding Robbie away. Okay, stopping him from following him so he can move his hips away and get some space. So what can happen? I know a lot of guys were diving their leg down, or they were driving in a way that they still couldn't manage to get there, one of those things to happen. So if Robbie's on top, and he gets so tight with this top hip here, that as Gordon tries to go and do that and move away, he's too tight here, he can't do it. But if he's doing that, his hip's going forward, isn't it? Okay, it's driving forward. Gordon underneath is trying to move away, and Robbie's basically following the whole way. Okay, so if that's the case, Robbie's kind of going in this direction. So what Gordon can do is he can take that, instead of pushing on his hip, he goes under his leg, and now he's going to use his lower body and move the other direction. You've got to go onto the other hip for this one, Gordon. Yeah. Okay, so no, go over the top. That's it. Now turn the other way. Turn the body the other way. There you go. Okay, so he can get down. So he transfers from controlling Robbie's thigh with his thighs. He goes under with one arm. He's basically on his side in this direction. He then moves his body all the way around the other direction until he gets out the other way. Okay, and so now you're facing the other direction. Instead of having your thighs around the thigh, you've got your arm around the thigh. Now you can lock down. So this is a great position. You can get two arms around Robbie's thigh. He's got two legs around his leg. It's like a single leg. Okay, so it's basically the same level of control as a single leg. And from this position, again, he can bring his head out the back, take the back, go back down again, pop the head back in there. If he goes to bring his head out the back and Robbie starts to follow him and not let him do it, he spins back the other way, spin underneath, he spins, comes around on the top. Okay, so there's a lot of really great reversals you can do from this position. So it's a really excellent way to get underneath their hips and for you to play that last progression from half guard. Okay? So you guys haven't done this one, but I still want to try and see if guys can just naturally do it by throwing it into the drill we just did. Okay, so if you're stuck and you feel you can't, you want to try and get your arm between their legs. And again, rather than turning and facing in towards them, if you get your arm between their legs, your goal is to get your shoulder behind their hip. So do whatever you can to try and get your shoulder in behind their thigh. And if you can manage to do that, well and good. If you go to try and do that and they resist, guess what? You're probably going to be able to come back and do one of the other things you've already done. Whether it's reverse them or get your shins in front. Okay? Everyone cool with that idea? We'll see how everybody goes with that, but I'm expecting most people will probably struggle with it, but that's cool. Give it a go, and then we'll come back and do some technical stuff. Yeah? Joe's got a question? Sure. Let's go. So again, Robbie's got a cross face and under. So again, and we always talk about using what's free. Gordon's right hand's free to do whatever he wants with it. Okay? He's got control of his Robbie's got control of his neck and his head. He's got a bit of control over there of his left hand because he's got the under. But Gordon's right hand can do whatever he wants. Okay, so here he goes in between the legs. Now he starts to walk his, no, just walk your legs away to the left. Turn your hips and now bring your arm across the other side. There you go. That's it. Okay, so it'll be a bit clunky for guys who haven't done it before. Again, it works well when you do it in conjunction with everything else we're trying to do. Okay? Okay, guys, get a partner. Let's give it a go. There you go. So again, we've got 4 objectives. Reverse the position. Get our left shin in front. Get our right shin in front. Get underneath. Ready? Let's go. Right. Person on top. Don't let them do any of that. Nice, Ben. Perfect. Straight up. Yeah. Yeah.
They have to break that to base to stop you.
Basically, yeah. So once you get to your position, once you get your shoulder behind them and you're driving, you're putting their hands on the mat. Yeah, that's it. That's it. That's exactly. It's like having a X guard dropping their hands. That's why it's a good position. If I can put your hands on the mat, I know what they are. You can't hit me. You can't attack me. I can do a whole bunch of different stuff. Okay, so it's a very strong position if you use it well. Again, it's just one of those ones that in jiu-jitsu especially, guys get lapels and they lock themselves in position and they just sit there. Whereas you can't do that in a no-gi match. You definitely can't do it in a fight. Guys will get on top of you and start to hit you if they get their balance. But if you can force their hands to the mat as they try to get their balance back, that's when you can switch and take them back the other direction. So the changing direction to being active with that, it's a strong position. Okay, so last thing to say, guys, is just that I said before at the start. So obtain, retain, finesse, progress. So get a position, keep the position, play the position, or move to the next position. That's how it's a really nice way to think about what you're doing with the jiu-jitsu. It's really helped me in the last 6 to 12 months. But I said before, you've got to be able to retain the half guard underneath to be able to finesse it and progress it. So to be able to do all the things we talked about, we just looked at that progression stuff there today. But also the big thing, you've got to be able to retain the half guard on top. So the biggest thing to look at and see everybody at the start towards it, comparing the start to the finish of the class, at the top everybody was just very kind of lazy on top with controlling their half guard, and guys were easily getting their knees in front, easily getting their shins in front, easily reversing it. By the end, everybody was really locking it down. Okay, so the same thing applies. If I want to be on top and play half guard, I've got to be able to stay there long enough to be able to pass or submit. So if I can't pin you down from the half guard on top for more than a couple of seconds before you either get under my armpits, or get me in a Kimura, or attack my legs, or reverse me, or get a knee shield, or get a butterfly, or go deep half, then I can't pass your guard. Okay, so I've got to be able to control that position on top and retain it. And as much as that lesson was about fighting on the bottom, it was really a lesson for everybody to get good control on the top. And by the end of it, everybody was making life a lot harder for the guy underneath, because you were adjusting and locking things down and getting a little tighter and controlling the position. So a couple of weeks' time, we look at passing from the half guard, you'll be able to take that, knowing that you can control the top position for a longer period of time, and then have the confidence that with that little bit of extra control, you can then start to initiate your passes and hopefully be successful. Okay, does that make sense? Any questions, guys? No, awesome. Thank you. Lining up, down out, make a training partners. Those that want to roll can roll. Good job, guys. Thank you. Hold on.